In those moments when you are triggered, you do not need to defeat the other person. You only need to win the first 90 seconds, which is about 1.5 minutes. That is your handbrake, the switch that pulls your nervous system from alarm back into control. Stop. Breathe slowly. Speak later. A sharp email, a public critique, a sour look triggers do not choose their timing, but you get to choose your response. You pull yourself out of the instinct spiral with a deliberate pause, and only then do you allow words to leave your mouth. No rushing, no hitting back, no throwing fuel on the fire. Are you truly angry at the person, or are you angry at the story you're telling in your own head? If you name the feeling that just surged, what becomes clearer inside you right away? Is it fear or anger? What do you choose? You must stop before you hit send. You must breathe before you speak. You must check your meaning before you react. Each day you train yourself to move half a beat slower so you can go faster over the long run, keeping your values above a passing feeling. Stop. Breathe. Choose again. Not a blind reflex, but a deliberate response. Not a knockout punch, but a way out together. Stop, breathe, speak 3 short steps, 3 steady steps, 3 steps that put you back in your own driver's seat. Simple, clear, repeat. You will still see old sparks flare, but now you have a fire extinguisher tucked up your sleeve. One pause is a pressure release valve. It frees you from words you would otherwise be apologizing for a long time, and you are in control. No rage, no harsh email. Do you want people to remember you for a sudden outburst or for steady composure in the hottest moment? Do you want your voice to calm the room, or do you want to toss another flame into the middle of the room? The decision is yours, right now in the first 90 seconds. In the next part, you will learn to name the trigger, set the pause, and use breath and language to keep your character. Make room for a quiet spot in your mind because we are not chasing feelings. We are training calm to do real work. No showboating, no scare tactics, only practice. Chapter 1 Trigger. Call the outburst by its right name. An outburst does not appear out of nowhere. It is usually flipped on by a small signal you sped past too quickly. You cannot flip a switch if you do not know where the circuit breaker is in the room. Hold your gaze. Look straight at the signal. Call it by its right name. You cannot bring down what you will not name. Identifying the trigger is the first handbrake that pulls the entire emotional car back into the safe lane. When you name what just lit the fuse, your brain shifts from alarm mode to processing mode, and then your words follow your hands on the wheel. Do not guess. Do not label vaguely. Do not ignore the signs. If you do not identify it, instinct will drive for you. And the first sentence that bursts out is often the one you will have to apologize for later. If you do not separate the event from your interpretation, your feelings will swell like a compressed spring and explode onto someone who does not deserve it. You know this. You have paid the price. You do not need to repeat it. Each day, mark the situations that often light the fuse: a harsh email, a raised voice, a long silence, a missed deadline being interrupted. You must distinguish the event that is happening from the story you are adding in your head. You win by naming the feeling instead of acting it out like an actor who has forgotten that he is acting. You see the screen clearly. You lower the background noise. You turn on the subtitles of the facts. Are you angry at the person or angry at the story you began telling yourself after reading one disrespectful line? Is the trigger in the actual words or in the fear of being dismissed that you accidentally pinned on them? Do you see what event is unfolding in the exact order of steps without adding your personal color? Write down the 3 triggers you encounter most often so your eyes can spot them before your body slams the fire alarm. Say a quiet naming sentence to yourself like, "I feel uncomfortable because I was interrupted," instead of, "They disrespect me." Touch the inner brake, then touch the keyboard, or open your mouth to respond. Note the event clearly. Note the feeling clearly. Note the choice clearly. Not a blind reflex, but a deliberate response that keeps your character intact in your own eyes. Do not pour oil on the fire. Remove the fuel by naming what is actually burning instead of fanning it with guesses. When you choose a response, you choose the future of the relationship and you choose your own memory of today. Do not get swept away. Do not go overboard. Do not ruin the work. See the trigger clearly. Call it by its right name. Slow the reaction so body and mind can return to a state safe enough for reason. An event is an event. A feeling is a feeling. The choice is yours and only yours in that deciding moment. See what happens. See what you see. See what you choose. Yes, it is tiring. Yes, it is tense. Yes, it can be lonely. But you can still pull the brake when everything speeds up because the brake is in your hand, not out there. You win by catching the smell of a trigger before the flames, then closing the pressure valve with a neutral naming sentence. You win by separating the observer from the one getting swept away, then allowing yourself to choose the sentence you will regret the least. You win by holding the wheel and holding your character, not with a dramatic comeback that shatters the shared rhythm of the work. See clearly, name it, choose again. Do you want to control the moment or let the moment control you and write your next sentence for you? If you name the feeling right now, what changes inside you before the words leave the screen? Do you want to be the person who throws more fire or the person who walks the room with a fire extinguisher, calm and decisive? A disrespectful email is only an event and it has no right to define you unless you hand it that power. A public critique is only raw data and it will remain data if you do not pour bitter meaning into every word. You hold the keys. You guard the doorway. You decide the flow of emotion. Do not rush to slap on the label, "They are against me." Ask carefully, what do they actually need? Do not pack a lifetime of wounded pride into one sentence. Read the pieces of data correctly, then decide whether any action is worth taking. When you change how you see your body tenses less and your words grow softer and the real issue stands there surprisingly simple, lighter, clearer, more doable. Place your hand on your forehead, lower your shoulders, and let your chest soften instead of feeling like a plank of dry wood baked in the sun. Revisit the first line, the middle line, and the last line of the message to see exactly which words you are reacting to. Inhale through your nose, name the feeling in your mind. Exhale through your mouth as if you are opening a window so the room can breathe. Slow enough, clear enough, intentional enough. See the trigger clearly. Call it by its right name. Slow the reaction, 3 small steps that can steady an exchange that is wobbling. An event is an event. A feeling is a feeling. The choice is yours and you can choose again, even if things have drifted a little. Do not torment yourself. Do not put on a performance. Do not make it harder on yourself. When it is hard, remember you have passed through moments even tougher than this, and you kept both your dignity and your heart. When you are tired, say one sentence less and listen one beat more, so the wave inside you settles before you decide. When you feel alone, stand with your values as if leaning against a solid wall without needing the crowd to clap. Stand steady, see clearly, speak slowly. Remember the 3-part line you taught yourself, see the trigger clearly. Call it by its right name. Slow the reaction and let the rest follow naturally. Remember the 3-part line that protects people and protects the work. See what happens, see what you see what you choose, and you will take the wheel of the conversation again. Do not forget, do not lose the beat, do not hand over the wheel. Are you angry at the person or angry at the story you told yourself because an old bruise just got pressed? Have you seen each step of the event or only the hurried footsteps of fear running in circles? Do you want to write a different ending this time instead of handing the pen to your emotions? Begin by calling it by its right name. Repeat every time a spark flashes. Then you will see it is not that the world has become gentler, it is that you are steady enough that you no longer need to explode. Calm, intentional, respectful of yourself. Chapter 2, the 90-second pause. Set the brake before you react. The moment you are triggered, your brain wants to shoot off like a car rolling downhill with the brakes unchecked. You must be the one who pulls the emergency brake before any words leave your mouth or your keyboard. Set the brake. Slow your breathing. Widen your view. The pause is not an escape. It is your agency to pull your nervous system from alarm back into control. When you stop, you give yourself a chance to see the whole scene again instead of brawling with a hot, narrow slice in front of you. Stop first, speak later, intention before impulse. If you do not stop, the first sentence will be the spark that sets the whole conversation ablaze. If you do not stop, your fingers will type in place of the heart you wish to protect, and the fallout often lasts longer than the argument. You know that. You have lived it. You do not need to pay again. Each day you practice a short stop before a hard reply, building a new reflex that protects you. You must prize calm over being instantly right or wrong, because calm protects people and protects the work. You win by moving half a beat slower so you can go faster across the whole journey, not dropping your character for one hot minute. That is gentle discipline. That is a steady hand on the wheel. That is you choosing yourself. If you stop what becomes clear that you cannot see in the heat, do you need to win the argument for your ego or keep the relationship so the work can stay healthy for the long run? Which answer will still hold after things cool down and you reset the meaning of that line? Set your phone down, place your palms on the table, and feel your body return to the present. Slide your chair back a touch. Look out the window or at a fixed point to step out of the swirl right in front of you. Take a full breath in. Breathe out a little longer, then consider one warm, simple sentence to open with. Do not rush. Do not scramble. Do not charge in. Do not fire back on contact. Pause to look wide and ask what you are truly protecting. Do not speak to vent. Speak to move things forward by one useful next step for both sides. When you change the reflex, you change the outcome, and you change your own memory of today. Less regret, less damage, less fatigue. Pause one beat, breathe one round, choose one line. Lower your heart rate, lower your voice, lower the sharpness of your words. Soften your gaze, slow your hands, slow your interpretations. That is the pause button within. That is the pocket fire extinguisher. That is the headlight that lights the way home. When you are tired, you still stop. When you are irritated, you still stop. When you are rushed, you still stop. You stop not out of fear. You stop out of respect for yourself and for the person across from you, so the right thing can be chosen. You win by noticing the inner alarm and setting the brake instead of riding the momentum you will have to apologize for. You win by letting your breath slow your body, then letting your body slow your words so your mind can lead. You win by keeping the shared goal at the center of the table, not turning the table into a stage for heat over one distorted line. A little slower, a little clearer, a little more accurate. If you stop, what is the worst that happens, worse than what happens when you drive straight into the wall of emotion? Is a pause weakness, or is it the strength of someone who chooses timing, chooses language, and chooses outcomes? Do you want to live in others' memory for steady composure, or for one short bang with a long regret? Place your hand on your chest, feel your heartbeat drop 3 notches, then decide whether to speak. Reread the line that triggered you and underline a single word you can replace with a neutral word. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with this next line before you add one more character to the screen? Keep your eyes soft. Keep your shoulders loose. Keep your intention within reach. Do not rush to stick on the label "they are against me." Try the question, what are they missing that I can clarify? Do not meet heat with heat. Meet heat with clarity and meet sharp edges with warmth. So what is right has space to stand in a narrowing room. When you choose to pause, you choose space for reason to breathe, and you choose the character you want to carry for years. Clear enough to see, warm enough to speak, direct enough to close. Look out to the whole picture. Look back at the goal. Look into what is within your influence. Set the opening line. Set the scope. Set the next step that can actually be done. Write one point. Write one boundary. Write one statement of goodwill. You are steering the conversation. You are cooling the temperature at the same time. You are guarding the door for results. Even when you are weary, you still stop. Even when you are poked, you still stop. Even when no one claps, you still stop. Because that single beat of silence is the ground that makes the voice after it sound more valuable, cleaner, and more on target. You win by shrinking the ego a little so the shared goal can grow a little, then choosing a line that does not make anyone brace. You win by giving yourself a few seconds to shift from judgment to description, from personal to work, from winning and losing to progress. You win by remembering that your reputation does not live in quick comebacks. It lives in accuracy and composure. Protect people. Protect the work. Protect yourself. If you stop, you will see what is real data and what is only an echo from an old fear. If you stop, can you choose a line that still stands tomorrow instead of one that only satisfies a hot minute today? Will you set the brake first or let the emotional wheels carry you over the shoulder and only then try to find your way back? Set the brake first, speak later, so intention beats impulse in every room you enter. Steady your breath, steady your gaze, steady your tone, like holding the wheel in heavy traffic. You do not need to be aggressive. You need control. You have the strength to do that right now. Chapter 3, Breath Stabilize the Nervous System. When emotions flare, what you need to reach for first is not a response, but your own breath. Breath is the internal switch. Touch it, and your entire nervous system shifts from alarm to control. Stop. Breathe in. Breathe out. Think of your breath as a power button. Press it at the right moment. Your body downshifts your mind, quiets the static, and your words lose their edge and warm up again. You do not need a secret technique. You need one long inhale and one long exhale to pull your mind out of the whirlpool of sharp words. Lower the tempo. Lower the urgency. Lower the heat. If you skip the breath, your fingers will type in place of the heart you want to protect, and the first line often becomes the spark for the whole room. If you skip the breath, your brain will slap extreme labels on everything, then drive you straight into a wall of hurt. You have done that. You have regretted it. You do not need to repeat it. Each day, remember to breathe slowly when your eyes meet harsh words and your shoulders start to lift in a defensive hunch. You must use the body to pull the mind back, because the body makes contact first and reason arrives a half beat later. You win by breathing evenly so your words come out evenly, keeping your tone from shaking and your meaning from drifting. Ease down, slow down, settle in. When you breathe slowly, which thought softens on its own before you even have time to think. Do you want your voice to tremble or to stand steady in front of someone who is heated and who makes that choice? Is your body sounding a false alarm or a true one? And can a single breath change the direction of your reply right now? Plant both feet on the floor as if you were driving stakes, then touch your back to the back of the chair so your spine stops tightening like an over-tightened string. Inhale through your nose longer than usual. Exhale even longer than you inhaled so the breath becomes the rope that pulls you back from the edge of reflex. Pick a fixed point to look at, soften your gaze, and only then allow yourself to consider the first line you need to speak. Open your chest, release your shoulders, soften your belly. Do not gulp rough, choppy air. Guide a soft breath through its full path so your body understands that you are safe and do not need to fight. Do not rush. Move with the smooth rhythm of someone folding clothes in order and on the crease so your mind senses that everything is still in your hands. You put out flames with air, used the right way, not with gusts, and you cool wounded pride with warmth, not with razor logic. Less rigid, less harsh, less sharp. Open your chest, release your shoulders, soften your belly. Inhale long, exhale long, hold lightly. Soft eyes, quiet brow, unclenched jaw. That is the simplest move. That is a reliable way home. That is how you save yourself. When you are tired, you still breathe slowly, so your body does not sprint after emotions that are dancing out of rhythm. When you are irritated, you still breathe slowly, so your words do not lurch toward attack because of one careless phrase. When you are rushed, you still breathe slowly, so your heartbeat does not push you into a race whose finish line is regret. Still slow, still warm, still clear. You win by using one breath to move the brain from judging to describing, and from there to choosing words that do less harm. You win by letting breath bring the body back to a safe rhythm, then letting the body bring your words back to a safe rhythm. You win by letting your voice pass through a gentle filter before it reaches the other person's ear. So what is right has a chance to be heard, safe, intentional, steady enough. Do you want your voice to be a thin blade slicing into someone's self-respect, or a hand placed on the table that calms the room? Whose breath will you choose, the breath of anger that is rushing to win, or your breath that is calmly moving toward what helps? Will you let one breath decide the fate of this exchange instead of letting a hot surge decide for you? Place your palm on your chest and feel the heartbeat dropping one notch at a time, like an elevator traveling from the floor of panic to the floor of calm. Watch your belly rise gently on the inhale and fall slowly on the exhale, proof that your body is listening even if your mind is still noisy. Take 3 full rounds of breath before you allow words to appear, the way you wipe the windshield before looking down the road. Within your hands, within your reach, within your control. Do not chase every thorn of a word. Let the breath soften the sharp edges before you assign new meaning to that line. Do not swap out the person you are talking to. Change your own state so the same sentence hurts less and solves more. You lower your voice not to lose. You lower your voice so others can hear what needs to be heard, and so you can keep yourself intact. Less noise, less bite, less pain. Open your chest, release your shoulders, soften your belly, 3 small motions like drawing the curtains so the light can come in and the view changes. Inhale long, exhale long, hold lightly 3 familiar counts like steps on a staircase. Steady up and steady down with no slip. Slower eyes, slower hands, slower words. 3 safety brakes for a hill that is easy to slide down. You are steering yourself again. You are steering the sentence again. You are steering the outcome again. There will be days you feel bored. There will be days you feel lazy. There will be days no one praises you. But the breath is still yours, and you can make it your safety line each time you stand near the edge of emotion. You win by focusing on the cool sensation at the nostrils, the warmth in the throat, and the lightness in the chest. You win by letting breath be the backing track and your words the melody on tempo and on beat. You win by remembering that calm does not arrive on its own. Calm is inhaled, kept, and released with regular rhythm. Soft enough, deep enough, long enough. When you breathe slowly, which thought becomes less extreme, and what in your view of the other person softens by half a tone. Do you want your voice to shake or stand steady? Do you want people to close up or open up, and whose breath will choose that? Is the body's alarm false or real, and are you willing to test it with 3 rounds of in and out before you rush forward like a siren? Set your words on the rails of your breath before you let them run, so the train of sentences does not fly off the track at a sharp bend. Let breath lead the way, and let the ego step back so the shared goal can sit at the center of the table without wobbling. Then choose a line that is short, warm, and clear, like setting a cool glass of water in front of a thirsty person after a long, hot stretch. Clear, sufficient, no extra edge. Do not clamp down and hold stale air. Guide a soft breath all the way through, like opening a window to vent a stuffy room. Do not fire off words. Release them in rhythm, like packing a suitcase with each item in its proper place so nothing gets crushed. You do not need to win on speed. You need to win on the quality of your state, and that always begins with breath. steady footing, steady tone, steady self. Open your chest, release your shoulders, soften your belly so the body tells the brain, you are safe now, no need to fight. Inhale long, exhale long, hold lightly so your heart rate remembers how to move evenly, like the steps of a calm person in a long hallway. Soft eyes, warm voice. Clear words so the other person sees you are here to resolve, not to unload anger. You make room. You invite cooperation. You keep your character. Even when you are tired, you still breathe. Even when you are pressured, you still breathe. Even when no one is on your side, you still breathe. Because breath needs no permission, needs no schedule, needs approval from no one but you, and it is always within reach. You win by starting with breath, then with your gaze, and only then with a first line that is warm and clear. You win by letting the rhythm of your breath hold the axis so emotions circle, that axis without knocking you out of your seat. You win by mastering the smallest switch so the largest thing your character does not burn up in one hot minute. Gentle, unhurried, precise. Will you let breath take the wheel for 3 beats before ego grabs the steering wheel? Are you willing to let one breath set the volume of your voice instead of letting anger set it for you? Do you want people to remember you for steady, approachable calm instead of a scratch on their memory? Bring your body back to safety. Then speak, because words are only worth hearing when the speaker is safe with himself or herself. Hold your breath steady the way you hold the wheel in heavy traffic, not aggressive, just firm and looking farther down the road. You can do this right now with one long inhale, one long exhale, and a light hold between the two. Chapter 4, Body, a posture that cools things down. In a triggered moment, the body speaks before the mind, and posture decides both your tone and the choice you're about to make. When you stand grounded and open, your nervous system receives a safety signal, and your voice naturally loses its edge and gains warmth. Straighten your back, ground yourself, hold your gaze. Posture leads emotion. Stand steady and your words steady and your sentences stay in their lane when the body stops shrinking as if danger were near. You do not need complicated tricks. You need the body's hinges to move smoothly, so the door of calm swings open on cue. Do not shrink. Do not brace in a hurry. Do not look down. If you sit with rounded shoulders, a clenched jaw, and darting eyes, your body will hit the alarm and your mind will run after the heat. If you lean hard over the table, slap your palm, and curl your back, your words will sound like arrows instead of an open hand. You have seen it. You have regretted it. You do not need to repeat it. Each day, straighten your back when you read a hard message so your spine stands like a flagpole, steady in strong wind. You must plant your feet so your mind can plant itself the way you tie a small boat to the dock when the water suddenly swirls. Win by softening your brow, unclenching your jaw, and letting your shoulders drop so the body grips less and your words cut less when you begin. Clear, deliberate, steady enough. What is this posture saying on your behalf before you can say a single word? Do you want to transmit tension, or do you want to transmit calm so people can actually hear you? If you change your posture, will your emotions shift with it, and will the outcome settle down by half a tone? Place both feet flat on the floor as if driving stakes so your weight spreads evenly and your knees stop bouncing with irritation. Lift your breastbone slightly so your chest opens and your lungs have room for a longer breath and your mind regains a longer view. Let your shoulders drop one notch so the invisible backpack slides off, and let the jaw stop biting into words that would add more pain. Straight, open, steady. Do not contract. Open up so the body sends safe to the brain before the brain sends fight to the muscles. Do not go rigid. Stay flexible so you can change the direction of the conversation without snapping the line of respect between you. When you change posture, you change tone, you change tempo, and you change the ending that this exchange was heading toward. Less sharp, less harsh, less hurt. Stand steady, look straight, speak clearly. Feel the ground. Slow your eyes, slow your hands. Soften the brow, soften the jaw, soften the voice. These are 3 simple clusters of moves. These are 3 points of leverage. These are 3 open doors. When you are tired, keep your back straight so your mind knows you have not lost to yourself. When you are bored, keep your eyes up so the other person feels treated as an equal and not discounted. When no one applauds, keep your feet planted so self-respect becomes the base for the next small decision. Patient enough, simple enough, persistent enough. You win by letting the body go first with kindness and then letting emotion follow a road with fewer rocks. You win by stacking your spine, loosening the hinges, and letting your voice drop into a warm register that invites cooperation. You win by opening your hand instead of clenching a fist so your message is a solution, not a collection notice for bruised feelings. Stand steady. Widen your view. Speak clearly. Are your hands clenched or open when the other person raises a voice above normal? Is your body a spark catching on everything, or a cool pitcher of water set in the middle of the table so everyone can settle? If you shift from bracing to opening, will you hear what they truly need? Not only the noise of their ego. Slide your chair back a little so your spine has a wall and is not toppled by a wave of emotion. Place your palms on the table and feel the cool grain of the wood letting the grounding signal travel into your skin. Only then lean forward a touch, keep your chin level, and release a warm, clear opening line as if turning on a light in a dark room. Steady hands, steady voice, steady direction. Do not crane forward into their space. Keep a fair distance so respect can breathe in a room that is tightening. Do not slump back to dodge. Sit solid so the message "I am here to do this work with you" comes through steadily. You do not put on a show of force. You show steadiness, and steadiness puts out fires better than a shout. Less noise, less edge, fewer cuts. Stand steady, look straight, speak clearly so the message is not warped by a timid or a hostile stance. Feel the ground. Slow your eyes. Slow your hands so your response does not overshoot what the moment truly requires. Keep your axis, keep your tempo, keep your character so you do not trade something important for a few hot minutes of pride. You take charge. You steer. You land softly. There will be times you tremble. There will be times you burn. There will be times you stand alone. But posture is still yours, and a straight spine is the flag you plant in a headwind. You win by adjusting posture first and the sentence second, because the body is the remote control of emotion. You win by dropping your shoulders, softening your brow, and unclenching your jaw before you part your lips so your words carry fewer barbs. You win by keeping your gaze soft enough that the other person lowers guard and straight enough that you do not lower yourself. Lighter shoulders, softer eyes, gentler words. What is your posture saying honestly before the other person can hear your content? Do you want to send tension like an overpulled string, or send calm like a paddle moving the water in steady strokes? If you change posture, will your feelings change? And will the room change from cramped to breathable so reason can take a seat? Align your heels like 2 periods at the end of a sentence so the body stops writing hot paragraphs. Draw your shoulders slightly back as if sliding a curtain free on its track so your eyes catch more light and your heart stops pounding. Keep your neck supple like a well-oiled hinge so your angle of view can turn smoothly instead of getting stuck in one stubborn direction. Enduring form, enduring rhythm, enduring intent. Do not shrink because you fear attack. Open up so you can see the other person not as an enemy, but as someone tangled up. Do not freeze to hold your image. Stay flexible so you can choose the best spot for the conversation to move with fewer collisions. You do not need to build a wall. You need to build a frame, and a steady frame lets the content stand tall without nails. Steady frame, steady aim, steady heart, soft brow, soft jaw, soft voice so the first line carries no metallic bite. Straight back, straight chin, straight gaze so the message does not bend out of shape from awkwardness. Open shoulders, open chest, open heart so solutions have a way in. You lower the heat, you keep the people, you keep the work. When you are tired, you still tune your posture like tuning an antenna, so the signal of calm comes through more clearly. When you are irritated, you still root into the floor so prideful wind does not blow your mind off the goal you need to hold. When no one stands with you, you still stand with yourself, and often that alone is enough to turn the room. Clear enough, bright enough, decent enough. You win by choosing posture as the gate, the body as the signal, and the voice as the vehicle. You win by setting the axis of the body, holding the axis of values, and laying your words on that axis so they travel straight. You win by showing that you are neither attacking nor retreating, but inviting the other person into a zone where problems get solved. Clear, simple, effective. Will you let your body write a tense letter for you? Or will you let your body sign a calm agreement? Will you let a clenched fist send an ultimatum? Or will you set an open hand on the table with a brighter option? Will you let a slumped posture drag standards down? Or will you let a straight posture lift standards to stand with you? Fix the posture first, fix the sentence second, because the body is the steering wheel and words are the tires. Plant your feet, open your shoulders, lower your voice, and then say what needs to be said once you are back in the driver's seat. You can do this. Right now, with one small adjustment and one big result. Chapter 5, Self-Talk. Speak to yourself before you speak to anyone. The sentence you mutter in your head always leaks into the sentence you send out like a leaky pipe spilling straight onto the floor. If you want to keep the room clean, you must fix the inside first because every puddle outside begins with a small leak. Stop. Listen to yourself first, then speak. The sentence you say in your head will spill into the sentence you send, and the tone of your self-talk decides the flavor of the entire conversation. When you change your tone with yourself, your body braces less. Your brain is less black and white, and the words you release scratch fewer people. Choose the words. Choose the meaning. Choose the tone. If you do not adjust your self-talk, you will label someone before that person can explain, and the conversation will already have slipped off the rails. If you do not adjust your self-talk, you will argue with a story you made up in a hurry, then convict the other person for playing a role you wrote. You have done that. You have been tired of it. You do not need to repeat it. Each day, catch the line, "They insulted me," the instant it flickers like a tiny spark behind your eyes. You must change. They are attacking too. They are confused, so your heart does not need to strap on armor at the sound of a single sharp word. You win by using neutral words to keep the brain neutral, and from there, choosing the sentence that tears the least for both of you. Lighter, clearer, steadier. What did you say to yourself when that line appeared on the screen, like a red pen mark? If you change one word, will the feeling lighten, and will you still cast them as the villain in your story? Do you want to be right in your head or right in reality, where the facts wait patiently and with less drama? Write 3 lines: what happened, what you think they want, what you truly feel. Read it again and cross out exaggerations like always, every, I never, so you do not turn one situation into an indictment. Whisper in your head, "I feel uncomfortable. I need clarity. I can ask for more detail," and only then touch the keyboard. Clear about the event, clear about the need, clear about the choice. Do not slap on a bad label. Describe the event as it is without extra seasoning from a lightly scraped ego. Do not assign blame. Find a useful meaning for the next step, because solutions come after accurate descriptions. When you change the direction of self-talk, you pull the conversation off the slick emotional slope and let the shoes of reason grip the road again. Less accusation, less defensiveness, less drama. Name the feeling, name the need, name the choice. Exaggerate less, judge less, personalize less. See what is true, own what is yours, propose a next step. Clear self-talk is a steering wheel in fog. Clear self-talk is the headlight at the front of the car. Clear self-talk is the compass in your pocket. When you are tired, you still choose your line with yourself first so your voice does not tremble for someone else's stare. When you are bored, you still unstick the labels in your head first. Your words do not drag you back into a rut of winning and losing. When no one supports you, you still speak kindly to yourself so you can stand up from the chair of wounded pride, clear enough, warm enough, straight enough. You win by asking in your head, what is the event? How do I feel? What do I want? And only then speaking out loud. You win by changing, they look down on me, to they lack information, and changing, they are irresponsible, to the scope is not yet clear. You win by using level words like a clean tabletop so the story has a place to set down without sliding. Name it. Change the meaning. Choose the line. Are you steering the language, or are you being dragged by the language like a dog pulling you on a slippery sidewalk? Which sentence will calm you right now? And how is that different from the sentence you were about to fire off 1 minute ago? Do you want to win against the story in your head, or do you want to win a result with the person in front of you? Tell yourself, I feel irritated because I need respect. I will ask to clarify the scope, then drop your shoulders before you type. Tell yourself, I may be misunderstanding. I will ask for a concrete example and then ask a question instead of delivering a verdict. Tell yourself, I will choose a warm tone, a short sentence, a clear point, and then press send so you do not have to recall it with a late apology. Half a beat slower, one tone softer, one idea clearer. Do not inflate the feeling with words like outrageous. Let it deflate with ordinary words like unclear, not aligned yet. Do not dump old memories onto a new sentence. Clip the past back and work with the data in front of you. You do not need flowery language. You need neutral sentences that pull the brain back to the center where solutions usually stand waiting. Less color, fewer barbs, less distortion. Name the feeling, name the need, name the choice, like labeling 3 compartments so your hand does not grab the wrong thing. Exaggerate less, judge less, personalize less, like turning down 3 knobs so the voice does not buzz when you turn on the speaker. Lighten the ego, lighten the wording, lighten the room like opening a window so the breeze comes in and the dust drifts out. You are safe. You are in control. You move forward. There are times you stick a label on. There are times you speak too hard. There are times you shoot too fast. But you still have the right to fix the very next sentence by fixing the sentence that just ran through your head. You win by treating self-talk as a draft and editing the draft before you print it as the official letter. You win by speaking to yourself as you would to someone you respect. So when you speak to others, respect is audible in every word. You win by consistently choosing neutral language, because neutral language lets data in and data lets wisdom work. Less distortion, less drift, fewer blow-ups. What did you just say to yourself? Is that helping or harming? And do you want to change the line right now? If you change one word, does the pressure in your chest ease? And does the other person raise fewer defenses? Do you want to be right in your head a little longer, or right in reality with a conversation that does not tear further? Choose 3 descriptive keywords to replace 3 words that smell like accusation and read them silently once. Choose an open question instead of a judgment and set it on the table like a cool glass of water. Choose a warm tone so the sentence has a place to stand, then leave 1 beat of silence for the other person to step toward you. Easy to hear, easy to understand, easy to work with. Do not pack in, they always do this. Ask what exactly is off this time. Do not slap on, they wanted to humiliate me. Think this method puts me in a tough spot, I need a different way to collaborate. You do not bend other people with anger. You bend the trajectory of the dialogue with the language you choose. Less friction, fewer collisions, less breakage. Name the feeling. Name the need. Name the choice so the brain knows what it is processing and your fingers do not hit the wrong button. See what is happening. See what you see. See what you want so your opening line is anchored in reality, not imagination. Change the label. Change the tone. Change the outcome so you walk out with both the relationship and your self-respect intact. You are clear-minded. You are respectful. You are effective. Even when you are tired, you still correct your words with yourself. Even when you are angry, you still correct your words with yourself. Even when no one applauds, you still correct your words with yourself. Because the person who pays the immediate price of self-talk is you, and the first person who benefits from self-talk is also you. You win by asking, what am I adding to the event? And then removing the excess, like pulling bones from a piece of fish. You win by turning right-wrong into clear, not yet clear, and opening the door for dialogue instead of charging into battle. You win by using language as a bridge, not an axe, so the hard thing can pass through while the people remain. Steady, clean, bright enough. Are you steering the words or letting the words pull you? And where do you want the will to be in the next conversation? What sentence will you say in your head right now? So the sentence you are about to send does not make anyone brace to defend. Which self-talk will you choose so the room opens up, not closes down, when two people truly need each other to solve a real problem? Fix the words with yourself so you can fix the words with others, because every spoken line steps out of the kitchen of language inside you. Keep the kitchen clean, the meal will be clean, and the people at the table will be able to eat with you for longer than one sitting. You can do this right now with one kind sentence to yourself. Chapter 6, Reframing. Change the meaning to change the emotion. You do not need to change the other person right now. You only need to change the meaning you're attaching to what just happened. An old event can carry a new meaning, and a new meaning gives you a new response that is clearer and more durable. Stop. Shift the angle. Choose again. If you keep the old frame emotion, will pull you along like an over-tightened string whose ring is painfully sharp. If you try a gentler frame, your body lowers its guard, your brain becomes less black and white, and the words you are about to say carry fewer barbs. No rushing, no stubbornness, no playing backup to the ego. If you do not reframe, you will fight the meaning you added, not the real problem that needs to be solved. If you do not reframe, you will turn a clumsy critique into a verdict, then lock yourself inside an irritating hall of mirrors. You have been there. You are tired. You do not need to repeat it. Each day ask plainly, is there a kinder interpretation so both of us can breathe? You must look for the hidden benefit inside the critique, like finding grains of rice in a handful of chaff. You win by choosing a meaning that moves things forward, not a meaning that satisfies one hot minute and costs you days of regret. Lighter meaning, clearer mind, clearer path. If this is an opportunity, what does it teach so you do not trip over the same rock next time? If the other person is clumsy, can you soften enough to hear the true intent beneath the rough words? Which meaning preserves both character and outcome without making anyone flinch from bruised pride? Separate the event from the story with 3 bullet points in your head. What did they say? What did they need? What do I want? Try the frame. The person is fine, but the delivery is poor, and see whether your reply turns and softens. Choose the provisional frame that best serves the shared result, then speak with one short, warm line that offers a way forward. Separate the event. Test the frame. Choose the frame. Do not take it personally. Look at the system to see whether the issue comes from process boundaries or missing information rather than from a person's nature. Do not cling to one meaning. Try several frames as if swapping a dusty lens for a clean one, so the lines stop warping. When you change the frame, you change the tone, and the new tone makes room for solutions to walk in gently. Less accusation, less defensiveness, less conflict, less guarding, more curiosity. Keep the center. Look at the goal, look at the data, look at the scope. Shift the viewpoint, shift the language, shift the outcome. These are 3 soft movements. These are 3 clean moves. These are 3 ways to open the door. When you are tired, you still try a kinder meaning instead of hammering in the stake they are against me. When you are bored, you still hold the question, what is useful here? So your words do not slide toward payback. When no one claps, you still protect the shared goal because that is the fulcrum that keeps your character intact. Steady heart, steady tone, steady direction. You win by reading the sharp line as raw data, then skimming off the impurities to keep what is useful for the work. You win by granting the other person the minimum goodwill so that person does not have to strap on armor and can walk with you to the end of the table. You win by choosing a version of meaning that lets you respect yourself and keeps the bridge between you. Keep your character. Keep the bridge. Keep the work. If this is an opportunity, what does it teach beyond the discomfort that is hogging the stage? Are you protecting the ego or protecting the goal? And can you set the ego on the table next to the goal and weigh them? Which frame lightens the conversation by half a tone so the other person does not raise a shield the moment you begin? Change the word attack to clumsy feedback so your body understands there is no enemy in this room. Change insult to, we are not speaking the same language, so the brain has enough curiosity left to ask for clarity. Change nitpicking to pointing out an error so your hand opens instead of tightening as you type. Change the word. Change the tone. Change the climate. Do not drive people into a corner. Open a path so both of you can turn out of the stalemate. Do not blow it up. Fold the issue into bite-sized pieces so each piece can be swallowed. You do not work a miracle. You adjust the meaning to fit your hands, and the new meaning turns reaction into response that is warm and clear enough. Less drama, fewer barbs, less harm. Separate the event. Test the frame. Choose the frame like wiping the fog from the windshield before you drive on. Less guarding, more curiosity. Keep the center like pointing a flashlight at the exact spot instead of sweeping the whole room. Set the question, set the scope, set the next step like leveling the tabletop so the glass does not slide. You hold the wheel. You make a gentle turn. You keep the line straight. There are times when the old meaning clings hard. There are times when memory jumps in and adds salt. There are times when a hot face blinds the eyes. But you still have the right to choose a kinder meaning because meaning is set by you, not imposed from outside. You win by asking what is the best thing that could be true here instead of the worst thing happened again. You win by connecting to the shared interest first, then touching the misfit so the other person still wants to walk with you. You win by respecting the person and adjusting the method so the problem leaves the table while the relationship stays. Put people first. Adjust the method. Close the task. If the other person is clumsy, can you soften so the inner noise quiets and the voice hardens less, which meaning preserves both character and result, letting you leave the room without having to bow an apology for an overreaching line? Are you protecting the ego or protecting the goal, and which deserves your service more right now? Right in your head, the person is fine, the delivery is poor. Then look for the true part inside the tangle of words like finding a key in a messy drawer. Say I want to understand correctly, then invite a concrete example instead of guessing from defensive habit. Close with our shared goal is. Then propose two small options so the choice happens on the table, not inside the chest. Clear goal, clear data, clear options. Do not load all the blame onto them. Check the vagueness in your own communication that led them to misread. Do not hang an old anger on a new line. Take the old picture down and hang a brighter present frame. You do not erase the past. You simply do not let it write the present for you, and that alone smooths the curve. Lighter history, lighter memory, lighter regret. Look at the goal. Look at the data. Look at the scope, 3 anchors that keep the next line straight and warm. Place the person, place the task, place the method, 3 clear axes so you do not get lost in the forest of ego meanings. Keep the voice, keep the tempo, keep the heart, 3 ordinary things that can save a hard meeting. Bright enough, warm enough, steady enough. When you sag, remind yourself that reframing is not self-deception. It is choosing the most useful frame for real progress. When you are weary, remind yourself that no one wins by humiliating. People only lose by holding the wrong meaning too long without changing. When you are quiet, remind yourself that respect is not weakness. Respect is the fuel that lets collaboration go far. Still patient, still candid, still kind. You win by choosing a meaning that cools the room, not a meaning that heats up the ego. You win by renaming a mistake as a misalignment, so the next line sounds like solving rather than attacking. You win by confirming the shared goal first, then fitting the misalignment into its proper place so you can repair it together. Fewer collisions, fewer breaks, fewer marks. If this is an opportunity, what does it teach that the old meaning did not allow you to see? Which frame lightens the conversation so you can hear what they truly need? Not only what they shout, do you want to leave this room with results and self-respect, or stay with the lonely rightness of an over-the-top line? Change the meaning to open the way a door opens by itself when you turn the handle in the right direction. Choose a gentle frame, choose a warm word, choose a clear sentence, and give the other person a place to set down goodwill. You can do this right now with a new meaning for an old event. Chapter 7, Sharp Emails, From Sparks to Signposts, Adding Depth. Most sharp emails are not born from pure ill will. They come from needs that were not expressed in the right place and in the right way. People write without tone of voice, without eye contact, without breath, so the words easily carry the scent of misunderstanding. Missing tone, missing context, missing breathing room. Text strips out warm signals, and the brain tends to fill the gaps with negative guesses in order to protect itself. You receive a dry line, your brain adds a harsh voice, and your body hits the alarm as if it just heard a shout. That is a trap. That is distortion. That is exaggeration. The deeper causes usually sit on 4 layers: unclear scope, insufficient resources, poor timing, and a lack of respect for the recipient's feelings. The writer does not say, "Here is where I am stuck." They throw out a hard-edged conclusion. The reader does not ask back. They see an attack. Both sides close up. Both sides brace. Both sides drop the goal. Every day, read beneath the anger to find the true need. Do they need information, a decision alignment, or a boundary? Open with a clear and warm line, as if placing a hand on a shoulder rather than pointing a finger at a face. You win by locking in a path forward instead of locking in a feeling, giving the exchange the shape of work again rather than a shouting match. Clear main point, clear tone, clear exit. What exactly is the main thing they need, down to a small concrete action? Not the discomfort that you hear echoing in your head. Which opening line of yours could calm the room before you present options, so the reader does not raise a shield on sight? Can you agree with one small part to unlock goodwill, and only then challenge the part that is misaligned while keeping trust intact? Answer a sharp email the way you would answer a request ticket. Confirm receipt, reflect back what they are saying accurately, and ask questions to clarify. For example, I have received the feedback about X. I understand you are concerned about Y. Below are 2 ways we can move forward. Say little about feelings. Say clearly what needs doing. Say immediately what the exit path is. Do not answer the tone. Answer the need, because when the need is handled, the tone softens by itself. Do not leave things hanging. Summarize clearly, because a summary is a small map that shows where we are and where we will go. When you change those 2 small habits, you pull the conversation out of a dark alley and back onto a well-lit road. Fewer collisions, less suspicion, less irritation. Acknowledge reality, present options, invite confirmation, clarify the request, clarify the scope, clarify the next step. Separate the person, separate the tone, separate the task. These are 3 filters. These are 3 anchors. These are 3 ways to rescue the exchange. Another root of sharp emails is fear that status is under threat. Someone feels looked down on, and they write to win back their footing. If you can read that fear, you will choose an opening that affirms their value before you step into what needs adjusting. Nod to what is right. Respect the person, adjust the method. You win by opening with acknowledge, plus value, plus shared goal, and only then moving to details plus options so everyone can walk together. You win by using the structure could please or instead of must plus now, so you do not back anyone into a corner. You win by closing with please confirm briefly instead of waiting for a long reply so the conversation does not dangle. Build the bridge, keep the bridge, cross the bridge. There is also a quiet cause. Old scratches between people turn up the volume on otherwise neutral words. You read a normal word, your memory hits the gas, and every period suddenly feels like a disrespectful command. Do not let the old write the new. Do not let a scratch steer your hands. Do not let the past fill in the lines. Each day ask yourself, am I reading data or am I reading the history I pasted onto them and swap to a cleaner lens? You must separate the old context from the new email because work needs present light, not yesterday's shadow. You win by choosing neutral terms, swapping irresponsible for unclear roles, and stalling for missing prerequisites. Lower the accusations, lower the defensiveness, lower the tension. Do you want to pour fuel onto the fire or guide the fire into the kitchen so it cooks the unfinished work usefully? Is your summary short and clear enough that a busy person can skim and still know what to do? Is your opening warm enough that a tired person still feels respected and wants to keep talking? Another route is triangulation instead of speaking directly. Someone copies a third person on the email to apply pressure. Break the triangle by pulling the exchange back to the two principal parties, then summarize transparently so anyone copied only needs to read. No grandstanding, no shadow casting, no performing on a crowded stage. Do not speculate about motives. Ask for concrete examples. Do not throw responsibility around. Define the scope. Do not push away. Gather the exchange back in. Do not copy the whole world. Include only the accountable person. Do not be vague. State who will do what and when at the level of principle. You are not turning email into a courtroom. You are turning it into a coordination room where the pieces go to their proper places. Lean information, lean lines, lean decisions. Acknowledge reality, present options. Invite confirmation. This is the signpost you switch on whenever there is fog. Clarify the request, clarify the scope, clarify the next step. These are the road signs that prevent crashes on a crowded road. Warm tone, short sentences, clear ideas. This is the safe speed that keeps you in your lane. You hold the wheel, you hold the lane. You keep people in the car. When you are tired, you still read for the real need, so you do not fight a tone. When you are busy, you still write a warm opener, so no one loses face. When you are fed up, you still close with a short option, so the wheels can keep turning. Enough discipline, enough decency, enough practicality. You win by mirroring one line, I understand you are concerned about X, then proposing two choices, option A or option B, and ending with please choose. You win by changing sharp action verbs into doing verbs, swap blame for, fix swap, demand for suggest, swap force for invite. You win by keeping a civil standard even when the other side slips, because the one who leads sets the tempo. Lead the tempo. Lead the tone, lead the result. Why is the other person sharp? Are they missing information, missing boundaries, or missing a sense of respect? Are you reading a sentence or are you reading your own fear? And will you ask again to separate the true part? Do you want people to walk with you or to brace against you? And which way is your opening line pushing? Try a very short passage when you need to soothe and guide. Received point A, aligned on B, to advance C suggesting 1 or 2. Awaiting your confirmation, or a passage when you need a boundary. To achieve D, I need E. What we have is F. Work beyond G should be a separate thread. Or when you need clarity, I currently understand H. Please share an example of I. If that is correct, I will do J. If different, please describe your view. Warm enough, clear enough, actionable enough. Do not trap people in either or when you can open a both and keep quality and keep the timeline by adjusting scope. Do not enlarge the image of your ego. Enlarge the image of the shared goal so both sides can see they are on the same shore. You are not lecturing, you are guiding the work. You are not competing to win, you are closing progress. You are not punishing, you are fixing misalignment. Less drama, less bluster, less exhaustion. Separate the person, separate the tone, separate the task so the knife for trimming errors does not become a knife that cuts people. Affirm what is right, question what is fuzzy, propose what gets done so the conversation keeps a forward push. Keep it warm, keep it clear, keep it short so busy readers can keep up and still want to cooperate. You build structure, you hold the axis, you reduce the shake. If the writer is under pressure, your calm is the shared release valve. If they are in a rush, your clarity is the legal shortcut. If they are accidentally rough, your warmth is the cushion. If they are clumsy, your brevity is the corridor. At some point, the way you write shows that you are in charge of yourself, not letting someone else's tone dictate your character. Stand steady, write clearly, show the way. Do you want to be the person who cools the room with words, or the one who throws another spark when fumes are already in the air? Do you want people to feel you are on their side, or that you are drawing a weapon and will one opening line decide that feeling? Do you want your email to be a signpost or a siren, and which role will you choose from now on? Write like a solver, not a counterpuncher, and treat each sentence as a paving stone everyone can step across safely. Acknowledge reality, offer options, invite confirmation, then close so the real work continues in real life, rather than ballooning in a thread. You can do this, right now, with one warm, clear paragraph. Chapter 8, Public Critique. Calm under the spotlight. When you are criticized in public, your heart races and your mind wants to strike back to ease the sting of the ego immediately. You need one beat to pull the brake because this is a test of poise, not a verdict hanging over your head. Stand still. Look straight. Keep your voice steady. Your poise is not measured by how many lines you fire back, but by how you hold your axis and steer the conversation. You are here to do the work for a shared goal, not to protect a fragile image that trembles under the eyes in the room. Keep your axis. Keep your tone. Keep your character. If you rush to fight, the room narrows as people brace, and the real issue slides off the table. If you lower yourself, you hand the power to define you to someone's clumsy words, and your credibility drains as fast as when the plug is pulled on a sink. You have seen that. You have been tired of it. You do not need to repeat it. Each day, prepare one short buffer line to put your heart back in a safe place before you put any words out. You must separate the person from the task when you respond so the person is respected and the task is solved in the same clear beat. You win by owning what is right, asking to clarify what is wrong, and guiding the exchange back onto the rails of the shared goal. Respect the person, adjust the method, close the task. What is the shared goal here exactly, and can you name it clearly in front of everyone? Which part of the critique is usable data, free of attitude that you can pick up and apply immediately? Will one line of thanks cool the temperature before you go into detail? Look at the person speaking, name the goal, and answer slowly so the heart can settle and the brain can clear. Look at the person, nod lightly, answer slowly to cut the circuit of confrontation and switch on the circuit of cooperation that is waiting for a safety signal. Slower eyes, slower hands, slower words. Do not counterattack. Stand steady because steadiness creates a sense of fairness and shows you are in charge of yourself under pressure. Do not put yourself down. Hold your character because character is what remains after today when the words have passed. You did not come to perform. You came to work, and people respect those who do real work even when they are sometimes wrong. Less drama, fewer barbs, less harm. Thank for the input, confirm the goal, propose the next step, 3 simple moves that pull focus back to what matters. Acknowledge what is right. Ask about what is vague. Commit to what will be done, 3 markers that move the talk forward instead of in circles. Look at the person. Nod lightly. Answer slowly, 3 beats that keep both your spirit and the other person's face safe. Clear rhythm. Clear direction. Clear destination. When you are tired, you still speak slowly, so you do not shoot an arrow you must pull out tomorrow. When you are fed up, you still restate the shared goal so you remember why you are here. When no one claps, you still stand on your character as the base for your next step. Enough discipline, enough decency, enough endurance. You win by taking in what is right first because accepting reality is the fastest door into learning and trust. You win by asking for clarity on what is wrong with a specific question because a precise question lowers emotional noise and lights up the data. You win by proposing one practical next step because grown adults speak through action, not volume. Own what is right. Ask clearly. Do the next thing. What is the shared goal here? Saving the product's quality or saving an ego that got scraped under the gaze? Do you need to win the words or win the result? And do you have the courage to choose the result in front of everyone? What impression do you want to leave after today? A brittle hothead or a calm helmsman who can turn the boat? Open with one line, thank you, I acknowledge point A, because acknowledgement lowers heat and preserves face for both sides. Follow with our shared goal is B, to reset the frame of work and remind everyone why we are here. Close with I propose steps C or D to pull the talk out of an endless loop and onto a track. Acknowledge. Set the frame. Propose. Do not dodge eye contact. Keep calm, sufficient eye contact so the message I am listening arrives before I am responding. Do not hide behind jargon. Use plain sentences so people hear that you are solving, not building a technical fence. When you change those 2 small things, you shift roles from defendant to facilitator, and the room shifts tempo with you. Change the role. Change the tempo. Change the air. Stand steady, look straight, speak clearly, posture, gaze, and language pointing the same way, not cutting across anyone. Thank for the input. Confirm the goal. Propose the next step, a small sum of 3 parts that adds up to more than each part alone. Separate the person, separate the task, separate the tone. Do not use the knife for fixing errors to cut people, only to trim what is wrong. Hold the axis, keep the tempo, dock the talk. Sometimes the words are very rough. Sometimes the speaker's impolite. Sometimes the crowd loves a show. But you still have the right to choose your attitude, and that attitude defines how people will remember you. You win by not letting the crowd control your heartbeat, because a slow heartbeat lets the brain think and the mouth speak right. You win by sending a cooperation signal first, because cooperation lowers the pressure of saving face and opens the flow of data. You win by not skipping what is wrong, but fixing it with the right action and timing, not with heavy words. Slow the heart, open the door, fix correctly. What is the shared goal here? Which part of the critique is usable data? What thank you line will lower the room's pulse before the work begins? Do you need to win the words or win the result? And do you have the poise to let the ego sit quietly for 3 minutes? What memory do you want others to carry after today? And which line should be written next to your name? Prepare a standard buffer line like a thin raincoat. Thank you, I acknowledge point. Our goal is, I propose. Build the habit of restating the speaker's point in 1 sentence, then add the data you hold so the picture becomes bright enough. Turn blame into describe, turn convict into provisional conclusion, turn fight to win into set the direction. Softer lines, softer voice, softer air. Do not grab the microphone. Ask for your turn to speak, because order is the frame that lets content be fully heard. Do not inflate the past. Address the present, because today is the only thing you can touch. You do not need to humiliate anyone to lift yourself. You need to lift the quality and let that lift you afterward. Less melodrama, less credit grabbing, less harm. Look at the person, nod lightly, answer slowly. You respect the person first, then touch the task. That order saves many meetings. Thank for the input, confirm the goal, propose the next step. You add sugar to a bitter coffee so it can be drunk, not to hide the bitter. Acknowledge what is right, clarify what is wrong. Choose a doable step. You speak with structure, not with emotion. Clear, useful, actionable. When you shake, plant both feet and let your back touch the chair because a steady body steadies your lines. When you burn, take one slow breath so your words pass through a gentle filter because gentleness is not weakness. Gentleness helps people hear each other. When you feel alone, grip the shared goal like a hand on a railing because the goal is the thing least likely to betray you. Steady body, steady breath, steady mind. You win by bringing the mistake into the light the right way, without blinding anyone and without shaming anyone. You win by reminding the group of clear working principles so next time people know the path and do not need heavy words. You win by closing the session with a short summary so everyone walks out the door with the same map. Safe, transparent, progressing. What is the shared goal here? And have you named it loud and clear so the egos shrink? Which part of the critique is usable data, and have you picked that up instead of picking up the tone? Do you need to win the words or win the result? And which one will earn respect from both sides in the end? Tell yourself, I will keep the people, keep the work, keep my character, and then speak one warm line that opens the door to dialogue. Tell yourself, I will clarify what is vague and then ask a specific question, not a gloomy guess. Tell yourself, I will propose one step and then set it down like the first brick of a short bridge over the gap. Keep the people, keep the work, keep your character. Do not counterattack. Stand steady because steadiness is the strongest message in a wavering room. Do not lower yourself. Keep your character because character is the light armor you sew through habit even when no one is watching. You do not need fancy words, you need concrete decency, and that turns critique into fuel for learning. Fewer extra words, less theater, less sting. Thank for the input, confirm the goal, propose the next step. Repeat these 3 beats like a steady drum so the meeting train runs on the right track. Look at the person, nod lightly, answer slowly. Repeat these 3 moves like breathing so your heart does not sprint ahead. Place the person, place the task, place the method. Repeat these 3 axes so every line stands upright on the table. You set the tempo, you lower the heat, you land the meeting softly. Will you leave the room with a sense of safety or a cloud of dust where no one can see the road? Will you write into memory the image of a grown adult or a jumpy kid hungry for applause? Will you choose to win now in your own eyes or to win for the long run in the eyes of those who must work with you tomorrow? Composure is credibility because credibility is what people give you when they see you master yourself in the hottest moment. Credibility is a shield because a shield protects you and protects the conversation from unnecessary scratches. Hold your calm and you will keep the people, keep the work, and keep yourself intact when the eyes finally look away. Stand steady, speak clearly, set the direction. Chapter 9, Boundaries. Protect calm with clear limits. No one will hold your calm for you. Boundaries are the soft fence that keeps life from trampling your yard. You set boundaries before you get irritated, not after you explode, and then try to win back your breathing room. Be proactive. Speak early. Hold your center. Clear boundaries keep your emotions out of debt because every vague maybe turns into a high-interest bill you pay yourself. You choose to speak plainly yet warmly so the work stays on course and the people still want to walk with you after the conversation. Clear, warm, effective. If you do not set boundaries, others will accidentally schedule your energy and call it support. If you do not state conditions, quality will fall first, then self-respect, and finally the relationship slips out of your hands. You get exhausted, You get irritable. You grow distant. Each day decide what you accept and what you do not, so you are not caught off guard when your name gets called suddenly. You must name the conditions that protect quality, because no one can read your mind if you do not turn the light on first. You win by offering choices instead of only refusing, so the door stays open while the room stays safe for both sides. Choose the standard. Choose the method. Choose the path. What are you protecting here above all quality health or the relationship? Which conditions truly help you do good work, and have you named them in one clear sentence yet? Which line is a boundary, not a wall, and sounds respectful to both sides? Write 3 sample lines in advance for requests that exceed scope, so your mouth does not have to search while your hands are already busy. Practice a soft but clear opener, so people hear goodwill while seeing the frame of the work stay intact. Remember to add one workable option so the other person has a way forward instead of standing there frustrated. What is a yes? What is a no? What is a maybe? Do not endure in silence. Speak up early, because silence only invites more confusion until it crowds the room. Do not block the person. Block the method, because the aim is to protect collaboration, not to build battle lines. When you swap, do not for conditions the air thins out and shoulders drop instantly. Less strain, less bite, fewer bumps. Make the scope clear. Make expectations clear. Make the natural consequences clear. Offer option A. Offer option B. Set limit C. Keep the people. Keep the work. Keep your character. That is the standard frame. That is the steering wheel. That is calm. When you are tired, still speak early instead of bottling it up until you burst. Protect yourself before you protect any title. When you are fed up, still restate the boundary so no one forgets the frame. Habit saves you, not mood. When no one claps, still hold the standard, because you will live with the consequences of your choices. Persistent, self-respecting, steady. You win by saying, I can take X when Y is in place, instead of a flat no that slams the door. You win by separating the person from the request so your words do not become arrows and the relationship does not become a scar. You win by putting 2 reasonable paths on the table and letting the other side choose inside a frame you can stand behind. Open-hearted, clear frame, clear direction. Which conditions truly help you perform, and have you ever dared to voice them, or have you only hoped others would guess? If you offer options, does the room soften and do people feel less cornered? Does this boundary serve quality or ego, and can you set ego down to protect quality? Say I can do A or B. Part C needs its own thread, so the listener sees a way, a limit, and goodwill. Say to keep the standard I need, so the standard sits in the center of the table, not inside someone's chest. Say if we go beyond this scope, the natural consequence is, so reality helps you, not emotion. Set the standard, set the conditions, set the natural consequence. Do not turn the boundary into punishment. Turn it into a signpost that keeps people from getting lost. Do not circle around like pleading. Speak straight like partners so words cost less and progress comes sooner. You do not need to be rigid. You need to be consistent, because people trust consistency more than any promise. Consistent, transparent, kind. Make the scope clear. Make expectations clear. Make the natural consequences clear. 3 anchors that keep the work from drifting. Offer option A. Offer option B. Set limit C. 3 paths that let no still sound like an invitation to collaborate. Repeat, summarize, confirm 3 moves that make real understanding happen. Safe, clear enough, doable. At times you will be seen as difficult. At times you will be misread as arrogant. At times you will feel alone. But after a few rounds, people adjust on their own, because they learn where to press gently and where not to press at all. You win by keeping a warm tone when you say no, so the messages protect quality, not protect power. You win by reflecting the shared goal first, so the boundary serves the goal, not anyone's pride. You win by taking responsibility for your time and energy, so your yes will carry more value later. Fewer automatic yeses, fewer polite nods, fewer swallowed frustrations. What are you protecting most right now? And if you drop it, what will you pay that you would rather not pay? Which line will help the other person understand that you are not blocking them? You are blocking a way of working that would exhaust you both. Do you want a short relationship built on ease or a durable relationship built on clarity? Use a simple structure I understand you need. To do this well, I need possible options are shift from refuse to propose, from complain to conditions, from obstruct to guide. Close with which direction would you like to choose? So responsibility sits in the middle of the table, not on one person's shoulders. Understand together. Choose together. Do together. Do not change your tone when pushed. Change the frame to keep the standard. Urgency is not a reason to cut corners. Do not let niceness lead. Let standards lead. Pleasant does not always mean useful. You are not opposing. You are protecting. You are not making it hard. You are keeping quality. You are not hard on people. You are hard on poor methods. Straightforward. Warm enough. Firm enough. Hold the heading. Hold the body. Hold the close boundaries need structure so people can catch the point. Name the task. Name the conditions. Name the options. Boundaries need specifics so they are not slogans. Place the person. Place the task. Place the method. Boundaries need fairness so they are not walls. Have a frame. Have the words. Have a path. When someone asks beyond reason, say I am prioritizing X, Y needs its own time slot so you are not catching fireballs at the end of the day. When someone tries to shift responsibility, say this part belongs to Team Z, I will support with materials so the work goes home to the right owner. When someone tries to slip past a standard close with to keep quality standard, A is non-negotiable so the floor does not receive a hole. Clear place, clear owner, clear standard. You win by shrinking vague, maybe expanding concrete conditions and framing options that people can step into. You win by naming natural consequences without threats, letting reality teach instead of emotion judge. You win by teaching others how to treat you through the way you consistently treat yourself. Teach the frame, teach the method, teach the habit. Are you holding boundaries to serve quality or to feed ego? And will you set ego down to save quality? Which conditions are red pins and which are yellow pins? And how will you mark them in your wording? If you state two options clearly, will the other person lower their shoulders and solve the work with you? Add a restating expectations layer after each agreement so no one tells the story I thought next time. Add a scope proposal layer before each new request so hopes do not flood into each other like a broken levee. Add a natural consequence line in your description so people do their own math and learn without anyone shouting. Prevent mistakes, prevent drift, prevent burnout. Do not corner people. Open a small turnaround lane where they can change course with dignity. Everyone needs a way back. Do not be a brick wall, be a door frame. A clear frame makes the door open right and close right. You are not blocking roads. You are aligning lanes. You are not punishing people. You are fixing methods. You are not cold. You are principled and warm, fair, well-defined, trustworthy. Make the scope clear. Make expectations clear. Make the natural consequences clear. Say it at the start. Repeat when things change. Repeat again at handoff. Offer option A. Offer option B. Set limit C and choose both and when possible instead of either or. Keep the people. Keep the work. Keep your character in that order if you want to go far. Order, discipline, consistency. When people call you during a busy stretch, say my open window is at. For urgent items, please send a brief summary so you are not yanked off the wheel. When people say just a little, say this: little touches a major standard. It needs its own track so a little does not become a mountain. When people praise to ask for more, say thank you. To keep it that way, I need. So compliments do not become a lever. Do not sway, do not fear, do not rush. You win by practicing one cadence. Hear a mirror frame propose ask to choose, then stop at the right point. You win by naming your energy limits as plainly as you would name technical limits. You win by giving your yes weight because your no always comes with reasons and with options. Weighted yes, sound reasoning, open path. What are you protecting most right now? Which condition needs to be said first? Which wall can be lowered into a door frame? Do you want to be remembered as easy to ask or reliable? And what price are you willing to pay for each reputation? Will you choose boundaries that serve quality or boundaries that serve ego? And which choice lets you sleep well tonight? Good boundaries are considerate. They keep both sides from hurting each other by accident, and they keep the work from drifting because of politeness. Be considerate with yourself so your energy does not tear. Be considerate with the work so standards do not drop. Be considerate with people so relationships do not crack. Fix posture first, then fix the sentence. Fix the frame first, then fix the task. That is how calm stays with you for the long run. Speak early, speak clearly, speak with a way forward. Chapter 10, Reinforcement. Turn 90 seconds into your signature. You have learned to stop, to breathe, and to choose again, and each time you do it right, you save one conversation from jumping the tracks. Now it is time to turn those scattered moments into a familiar path. So calm becomes how you live, not a lucky break. Remember this, hold this, repeat this. Correct repetition becomes a habit becomes you, and people will recognize you before you even speak. Signature does not come from one blinding flash. It comes from steady, small, firm accents on the same inner soundtrack. No showboating, no storms, only stability. If you do not reinforce, skill will leak like water through tile grout, and the calm house will grow damp. If you do not reinforce, old heat will find its way back, and next time you will apologize to someone you care about. More tired, more broken, more distance. Each day, review one moment when you cooled things down so you remember how your body did the right thing. You must memorize the opening line that fits you best, the one your voice says smoothly and your heart accepts. You win by using the same process across different settings until your inner formula becomes a kind reflex. Remember the experience. Remember the opener. Remember the process. What moment did you win today? And where will you store it in memory so you can grab it fast next time? Which line works best for you? I understand your concern, or to keep quality, I need clarity on this point. What stops you from repeating when needed? Laziness, forgetting, or fear that others will think you are putting on a show. Stop on purpose before you enter the fray, like switching on the safety before a tough exchange. Breathe on purpose so the body pulls your thoughts back to center, like bringing the ball home before you pass. Speak on purpose with one short, warm, clear sentence, like switching on the hallway light so everyone can see the way. Stop on purpose. Breathe on purpose. Speak on purpose. Do not flare and fade. Be steady and consistent so people trust that you are reliable when it is hot. Do not wait for perfection. Accept progress so each day is a little better without fireworks. When you choose a steady rhythm, you choose a long reputation, and a long reputation feeds both work and relationships. Steady rhythm, steady tone, steady self. Recall the lesson, refine the line, raise the standard. Review once, remove one extra word, repair one habit, keep what works, drop what is fussy, add what is useful. That is how you grow. That is how you firm up. That is how you brighten. When you are tired, still pause one beat so words do not fly like nails from your hand. When you are bored, still take one round of breath so your voice does not burst out like heat from a pot lid. When no one claps, still choose a warm line so dialogue has room to live. Quietly, regularly, surely. You win by gathering your 3 old tools: pause, breath, posture, and keeping them in your pocket every time you step out. You win by reminding yourself to talk to myself first so the spoken line does not trap you in a dead end. You win by reframing fast into a kinder meaning so your good intent reaches the other person intact. Keep the toolkit, keep the naming, keep the gentle meaning. Which line worked best for you this past week, and will you dare to simplify it until anyone can understand it? Which setting will you apply it to next at home, at work, or when you are annoyed at yourself over a small mistake? How do you want to be known, the person who flares fast and apologizes, or the person who moves half a beat slower and stays principled? Choose one opener you love and keep it at the tip of your tongue, so any surge of heat meets it first. Choose one question you trust and keep it in your mind so every guest must pass through a checkpoint. Choose one axis of values you stand with, so every response returns to it like a compass needle. One opener, one question, one axis. Do not inflate volume for effect. Increase clarity for accuracy. Smart people prefer clarity over noise. Do not pump emotion into words. Draw emotion out of words. Light words lead to light people. Light work leads to a lighter day. You do not need to win by volume. You win by quality. Quality lives in how you repeat the right thing without fuss. Lighter volume, heavier quality, sufficient. Stop on purpose. Breathe on purpose. Speak on purpose. 3 intentional moves that strap a safety line across every curve. Recall the lesson. Refine the line. Raise the standard. 3 small actions that lift your working life one notch at a time. Keep the people. Keep the work. Keep your character. 3 priorities that let you leave the room with yourself and with us intact. Steady hands, steady heart, steady course. There will be times you slip. There will be times you forget. There will be times you hesitate, but you can return because the root exists, and each return presses that signature deeper into you. You win by treating every misstep as a drill to repeat, not a sentence. The drill you repeat is the drill that improves. You win by telling yourself a fair version of the story, where you were wrong, how you will fix it, what you will keep next time. You win by letting others see you make adjustments quietly so they learn to trust you the next time around. Straightforward, gentle, consistent. What small but real moment did you win today, and did you give yourself the right amount of credit? Which line of yours works best, and can you remove one extra word so it runs smoother? What blocks you from repeating when needed, and what specific move will you take the moment you leave this video? Scan across other settings, meetings, group, chat, email, family, in the restaurant, and carry the same process, like the same key. Keep the 3-step rhythm everywhere. Stop, breathe, speak, so your body does not have to relearn every time the field changes. Mark each time you do it right with a kind line to yourself, like stamping, cleared on a new habit. Carry it. Keep the rhythm. Stamp it. Do not box yourself into the role of hothead. Open the map of pace setter, because roles are written by you, not assigned by others. Do not wait for recognition before you act. Do what is right, because that is how you respect yourself in any circumstance. You do not need titles, you need character, and character comes from repeating the right things when nobody is watching. Quiet, grounded, deep. Remember the experience. Remember the line. Remember the feel of calm in your body. Positive memory guides better than any command. Choose the person. Choose the task. Choose the words small. Right choices fill the reservoir with clear water. Set the axis. Set the rhythm. Set the standard. Once set, you just walk without overthinking each time the wind shifts. Freedom, a lighter head, the right work. When a new context arrives, use the old process name. The trigger, set the brake, use the breath, adjust the posture, clean the self-talk, choose the line. When a new person arrives, keep the old standard, respect. The person, separate the task, propose the next step, and let your signature speak louder than your profile. When a hard task arrives, keep the old principle calm first because calm gives everything else a chance. Deep roots, flexible branches, green leaves. You win by turning calm into character, not into a trick, because tricks fit a moment while character fits a life. You win by letting people meet the same version of you over time, so trust does not need to be rebuilt. You win by making the first 90 seconds about 1.5 minutes. Your baseline habit and good outcomes follow as the natural result. Consistent, trustworthy, built to last. How do you want to be known? And will you drop the quick flashes to choose a steady rhythm? Do you want to be invited into hard conversations or avoided when the air gets hot? Will you stand with long-term identity or with short-term feeling? And which one will you choose when no one is looking? Do again what has worked. Do not invent a storm when the sky is clear, because calm is capital that earns interest year over year. Keep the 3 base steps like you keep the house keys, because without them, you stand outside the door of your own life for a long time. You have the strength, you have the method, you are ready. You have traveled the whole arc from trigger to pause, breath, posture, language, and boundaries. Now the remaining task is to repeat correctly until calm becomes how you are recognized everywhere. Stop at the right moment, breathe slowly and deeply. Choose a line that is warm and clear, not a blind reflex, but a deliberate response. Not feeding the flames, but guiding the fire into the kitchen so it cooks the work. Stop on purpose, breathe on purpose, speak on purpose. 3 small steps that build a durable foundation of calm for every conversation. Be clear about the person, clear about the task, clear about the next step. Keep the tone warm and direct. Put the result first. If you forget these 3 steps, emotion will drive your hands and the consequences usually last longer than 1 sentence. If you only wait for luck, the next hot moment will seize your voice right when you need calm the most. Do not leave it to chance. Do not delay relearning it. Reinforce it every day. Each day review 1 moment when you cooled things down and name exactly what you did right. You must keep 1 favorite opener ready so every tough conversation runs into it first. You win by using the same process in new settings without having to rethink from scratch every time. Repeat correctly, hold your axis, and let the body pull your words toward a warm rhythm before reason sets the final line. Remember what works best. Keep your favorite opener. Carry the process everywhere. Do you want people to remember you as the one who sets the pace, or as the one who pours more fuel on the fire? Where will you bring the 3 base steps into your next conversation, and which one will you start with? At home, at work, with yourself. Choose the arena, then choose the line. Do it now, do it small, do it consistently. Write down 1 time you cooled things down successfully, distill 1 opener, and place it where your eyes land. Practice 1 long inhale and 1 long exhale before replying to a hard message so the body pulls your tone back to center. Set the break in your mind. Keep your shoulders loose. Choose a concise line. Do not flare and fade. Be steady and consistent so people can lean on you when the room is hottest. Do not wait for perfection. Accept progress. Do not demand milestones now. Record the small steps that move in the right direction. Less noise, more endurance. Keep the long rhythm. Recall the lesson. Refine the line. Raise the standard 3 moves that keep you upright through slippery turns. Keep the people. Keep the work. Keep your character. 3 priorities that warm your words and brighten your decisions. Keep the right axis. Do not veer off course. Do not drop the standard. When you are tired, still pause half a beat so you do not say a line you must tug back tomorrow in embarrassment. When you are misunderstood, still open with a warm line so real information reaches the table instead of barbs reaching a chest. No rushing, no throwing fuel, no giving up. You win by turning the pause into a reflex, turning breath into the backing track, and turning posture into the frame. You win by softening your self-talk, brightening the meaning, and then choosing an opener that is warm and clear. The route already exists. Keep walking steadily. The destination will come. What do you want to leave behind after each conversation? A sense of safety or a thin haze of smoke that is not cleared? Where will you repeat correctly next time, and who benefits first from your steady calm? Family first, teammates second, yourself always. Not a blind reflex, but a deliberate response. Do not let the fire drive you. Let yourself drive the fire back to the kitchen. Stop, breathe, speak 3 short beats, 3 steady beats, 3 beats that put you back at the wheel in every room. Start today, repeat tomorrow. Stack days into wins.